Aloha! Welcome to Unit 3, Module 6, Lesson 2, Stylizing a Navigation Menu with CSS. This is the last video of Unit 3 on CSS. So thank you for coming this far. In this particular lesson, we will learn how to stylize a navigation menu. What we will do is we will take our web page, which looks like this, and this is a current navigation menu. And now, by using what we learned about styles and using several new CSS properties, we'll now make our navigation look like this. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. To do this particular lesson, just as the last few, you will need a couple of things. First, you will need to have the web course and up and assigned to the actual lesson. In this particular lesson, this is important because what we will be doing is copying all of this code from the web course into our CSS. Okay. In addition, you will need to have your index.html, right? Your main index.html, which we will continually view. We won't make any changes to the index. And your CSS here, right? CSS. And most of the work we're going to do will be in this area. Since we're working on a navigation menu, it'll be around this navigation style and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go. If you're ready, let's go. Thank you. Okay. So the first thing it says you do here, and all we're going to do is that we want to put a comment in our style sheet, right? Just saying navigation menu styles. So we can take this, copy this, Control C, and I'm just going to copy it into my CSS. Here I'm going to copy it into my navigation menu, right? So these are all my navigation menu. Okay, that does nothing, right? That's just a comment. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to change the list style type of the UL within the navigation menu. So we're going to say here Control C, there. We're going to copy this into the navigation menu here, right? Okay, and let's make this a little bit nicer by copying it in there, right? Okay. Save this. And now let's see what this does here with our index.html. Okay, we can see index.html. We can actually look at it here. This is what it looks like. Right, I'm going to refresh it. This is what we have there. All I did was take off the dots. Okay. Now let's go do the next one here. And we're going to copy this one over here. Right. Controls, right? And so what this is going to do, now this is going to make everything shift so that instead of being on 5 different lines, they will all be on one line and they'll be separated a little bit. So now we bring up our HTML, CSS there. Okay. So that's what this one here, right? And this float left causes them to all to appear on one line, and margin right separates all of them. Like that. You can see. We bring up our page again, we refresh it, and now it looks like this. Okay, well, that might be good. Okay. It's getting a little bit better. Okay, now what we want to do is, now we're going to be stylizing what our links look like. So we have a lot of code here that you will probably want to optimize for your particular website, but we'll just, in our case, we're just going to copy this here. We're going to bring up our CSS there, and we're going to copy this in as well, right? And of course you want to do this all yourself, right? Copy at home, Right, this is all just to make it look a little bit nicer by indenting it well. Home. We'll save this. Now this will change our hyperlinks. Again, we'll do that. We saved it. We'll refresh it. And now it looks like this. Okay. Still better yet. Okay, now what's the last thing we're going to do? It's all looking pretty good. Okay, what else? What's next? Now we want to add a hover over this. Right? So that looks better when we hover over them. So we'll copy this now. Copy this in. Control C. This changes the hover here. Okay. Okay. Notice this changes the hover. And we'll say that. Okay, and now we take this here. We'll refresh it. So now this just changes it so it's built like that. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, for some people this might be okay, and this is exactly what they gave you. But I think what I want to do is that I want to center this navigation menu, and then I want to make it so that about my site isn't overlapped with it. Okay, now this is something it might be a little bit different for everyone depending on your particular CSS, but I'm going to try to change some of my nav style, which is the overall container, to get this to work a little bit better for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do with my nav style, and this might be a little bit different for each person, is that I'm going to add a margin, right? Margin to the left of 10%. So this will actually make it move it in a little bit. I'm going to put some padding around my nav. Just some small padding, 1 EM, just so that it's surrounded, there's some blank space surrounding it. And I'm going to put a border of hidden so that there's not, the navigation menu is clearly separated from everything around it. Now by doing these three things, I'll save it and I'll refresh it. And now this is what it looks like. So now it's a little bit more centered than it was before. It's clearly separated from the rest of the content. It's clearly separated from the rest of the content. From here, you can play around with it further and do more, but this is about where I'll leave you to do your best. And you can see here, if we click on this, it takes us to graphics, accessibility. All of these change a little bit, right? Maybe some more changes are necessary, but this is what we want from here. Anyway, thank you very much. Mahalo.